everyone. Welcome to the latest edition of the Gutsy podcast. This has been fun. We've had loads of fantastic guests on for this season. Very quickly, apart from the wee delay, drawing to a close of the season. And I tell you what, it's super, super exciting. Thank you for everybody who is messaging in with their questions and their feedback. It's, we know we're doing something right when we're getting, we're getting these positive messages. The people relating to the stories, relating to the guests, having a bit of a laugh too, which is important. We do like that. Doom and gloom is not where we're at. And I tell you what, I am super excited about today's guest. We have got two wonderful human beings. We'll not hold it against them. They're from England. From the world of entertainment, we have Tash Cowley and Fraser Wall, actors, writer, producer, in Tash's case as well. And Tash is telling me that Fraser believes he's a legend. Is this true, Fraser? Surely not.
I can't.
You seem like a modest guy.
Yeah, I can't verify.
You'll let others
in the eye of the beholder, I think. Yeah, potentially.
You'll let others do it for you.
Yeah.
So wait to do it, mate. So wait to do it. Thank you for coming to Gutsy. Thank you for coming to Scotland.
Thank you so much for having us. We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, because we've spoke a few times and it feels as if I've known you forever.
It really does. Yeah, it does feel like that friendship runs deep. That river runs deep.
Yeah, man. Previous lives or something like that, if you believe in that voodoo. Right, you're here for a reason in Scotland, not just to see us, but you were coming just to see us, but we tied it in with something else.
Yeah, I've got a wedding tomorrow.
Not your own?
Not my own. And I don't really know anyone. So it's a friend of my wife's. They went to university together in Dundee. They're both architects. So, we'll see. But
interesting bunch.
I know. But it's in Paisley Cathedral, I think. So
well, my brother was married in Paisley Cathedral. It's very, very beautiful.
Hallowed turf. Yeah.
I'm not going as far as that, but that's very, very beautiful. It's very nice. And do you know where the after party is?
I should, and I can't remember the name of the place. And I'm going to be in trouble for that.
No, you won't.
I can't remember.
Who would expect? To be honest with you, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I would just know that there is one.
Yeah.
There is one.
There is one.
Yeah.
And if it's a Scottish wedding, chances are it'll be half decent.
Be class, I think.
Yeah.
Always is, yeah.
Kilt?
Do you know what?
No.
I have a pair of trews made for my own wedding. Yeah.
Very, very cool.
Because I had a Scottish wedding of my own, which was fantastic. And I got a pair of trews made and I tried them on 2 weeks ago and it's a no. So,
really?
Yeah, I was in Marks and Spencer's last week getting a suit. So, yeah.
Right, so we spoke off camera. So you had a Scottish wedding. Is your wife Scottish?
My wife is Scottish, yeah. So we got married in St Andrews.
Beautiful.
Which was amazing, yeah. She's a Fifer. So we went to St Andrews and Tash was there.
I was indeed. Was in attendance.
Oh.
It was a beautiful wedding. It was amazing. A lot of fun.
Yeah.
Good Hayley.
Great Hayley.
Great Hayley.
Yeah.
See, I love it. I love the energy of it. But I can't do it.
Oh, no. Not can I.
I'm rubbish.
It involves my wife often just being like, English people don't know what they're doing.
Messing up the whole thing.
Including me, just shouting at me.
Yeah, using Morris dancers or something like that.
Yeah. Hold my hand, don't go this way.
To be fair, that's pretty much me. And then I think my wife knows what she's doing, but she's just mad. She's just throwing everybody about.
Yeah.
You need that though. You need those leaders. You need the people to do the throwing. I'm happy to be thrown because if I'm throwing people, they're going through the windows.
But we were off camera and you've been to, that'll be another, you've been to another Scottish wedding. You had one in Aberdeen as well. Not
Aberdeen.
had one, you were at one.
I was at one in Aberdeen as well, so I'm clocking them up. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're fairly ticking them off.
Getting about the country.
So this will be you're not going to the wedding?
I'm not going to the wedding, no. Unfortunately, I'm going back again tonight, which is a real shame. I would love to have stayed and explored the city a bit, but next time.
Well, to be fair, sadly, the city's in a bit of disrepair, and that's why you came off at Motherwell today.
That is
a
big fire, which is very, very sad. So when if you give it a little band-aid over the city, then come back and we'll make sure you're well looked after.
Paint the town.
Yes, yes. But honestly, thanks for coming on. It's been great to speak to you guys over the last couple of weeks. I think, the best way of manoeuvring your chat, shall we say, is probably just to tell us, Fraser. You've been living with IBD for a while, and tell us a little bit about your story.
So it's quite a long one.
That's all right. So when were you diagnosed?
I was diagnosed, I think I was 13, and it took quite a long time.
Not that long ago. You're a young guy.
Yeah, 20 years. Yeah. Thank you.
You're
wearing it well. You're wearing it well. Box fresh. Yeah.
It's like 20 years.
It's 13, difficult time for anybody.
Yeah.
You're hitting your formative years, trying to be cool.
Yeah, I think I was. Yeah. And really difficult. And it took a long time to get diagnosed because I guess I was young and they wanted to rule everything else out.
Yeah.
So it was quite brutal. I think a lot of the tests that they did then, they now wouldn't do. So I was having barium meals and my blood.
I think I had one of them as a kid. They didn't taste very nice.
No. It's like trying to drink chewing gum and I had like my blood treated with radioactive stuff and injected back into me and loads of stuff. And because I grew up in Somerset, a quite rural area, so they couldn't do my healthcare. So I was travelling into Bristol,
to
the Children's Hospital there to have all of that done. And then driving back to Somerset to try and still go to school.
Tough.
And try and be.
How long's that journey?
About an hour.
Yeah.
In the car, yeah.
But if you're adding that on, the there and back and, and everything that goes with that, and it's right. I mean, it's a big deal, especially if you're in school and you're doing your thing, you're trying to get on. Did you miss a lot of school?
I don't think I missed as much as I could have.
Yeah.
There were times when I got signed off doing certain things. So I didn't do certain exams or especially if they weren't like, I don't know, legal ones. Right. They were like intra-school things. Mock tests, mock exams. They didn't get me to do them.
You've drawn out a full picture of the school system in Somerset doing illegal exams. What are they up to?
Lockpicking.
It wasn't great. It wasn't a great time. But I did really try to go as much as I could.
Yeah.
And my parents kind of.
So how long did it take you, between, if you can talk us through, if you'd be kind enough, you became symptomatic, and then how did that journey work with the testing, and how long till you actually got that diagnosis? Because that's it's a big moment in most people's lives. I think
my memory of it is that it was like an Easter, and we visited like my dad's family.
Yeah.
And they hadn't seen me for a while, and they saw me and were like, is he okay? To my parents. And we're like, he's really not. He doesn't seem right. And then I went to the GP because I was tired. Yeah. I was really pale and I was very skinny, but I think I hadn't been anything other than skinny. And I think when you live around it, you get used to what you're seeing. So
of course,
my parents and everyone was just like, "Oh, I think he's all right."
Yeah, because it's those like small incremental changes every day. So you don't see that sudden change.
Yeah, and I can't really. I think I was having sort of toilet symptoms, but I probably wasn't saying anything.
Yeah,
and I just wouldn't know what they were really. And then I went to the GP, who was like, "Well, he's really young. I don't know, let's try and see if he's got anemia, but he shouldn't have anemia."
Yeah.
And I remember they did the blood test and I was very frightened of needles, and that had to stop very quickly after this. They did the blood test, and then it was like the evening, and the doctor rang my parents in the evening and was like, he this is really bad. My iron levels were like
shot
nowhere.
Right.
And he was like, I don't know what's going on, but we need to sort his care out now. And then I think there was a process where like Somerset couldn't do the care for me.
Mm-hmm.
And Bristol Children's Hospital has a specialist clinic. So I was sent there. And then I think that took a year from being at the Bristol Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
Probably about a year to getting diagnosed with Crohn's.
Yeah.
Because I was being tested for, like celiac and
all sorts
loads and loads of different things to try and work out what was wrong with me. And I think all the attitudes then are so different to how they are now.
Yeah. Yeah, the advances are fantastic. Even though, sadly, sometimes it still takes a bit of time in some instances to get that diagnosed.
Seems a lot of it's admin of getting in front of people now seems to be really hard.
Yeah.
Whereas I think then as well, it was like they wanted to eliminate everything before saying it was IBD, rather than, I think now they're like, once you get that colonoscopy, it's in there. This is what you have. It's just getting to that stage is so hard.
Yeah.
And sort of advocating for yourself to be like, there is something wrong with me.
Yeah. So sometimes it's knowing the right questions to ask and trying to, it's a tough system to navigate.
And everything, that's the game, is just knowing what question to ask.
Yeah.
And knowing key phrases and things where it's like, they cannot ignore that thing you've just said.
Yeah.
But if you don't know, I didn't know. If you don't know, good luck. Like, it's a nightmare. Really. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
So tough time for you, of course. Tough time for your parents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And when you were diagnosed, how did you? It's you're not celebrating it, of course, but you've got something to work with then, and you're not questioning it.
Yeah, I think I do remember a feeling like, okay, good, it's that.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back now, what I realise is I wasn't old enough to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And not the significance of it, but like what it might hold for my future.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to be there, and I didn't want it to be real.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, you have Crohn's disease. Okay, fine.
What's that?
Yeah, kind of. And the person who diagnosed me, she was called Professor Sandhu. I remember I saw her loads. She said to me and my parents that this is a really tricky time for me to have this news and learn what's going on. And she said, what the key is that he needs to learn to live with this, not his life around it. And that has been a double-edged sword, I have to say.
Yeah.
Because that means different things to different people.
Yeah.
And I went quite extreme with that, I think, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'm ignoring it. I'll do what I have to do, but I thought it would be like, it was just going to roadblock my life.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to engage in it, really.
You can understand why, but for me, so you have to live with it. Absolutely doesn't say ignore, but what your reaction is not unique. For anybody that age, or for a lot of people not of that age. But we speak to so many kids, and they're like, it's like, that's not real. Yeah, and I'm going to do what my pals are doing.
100%. And also, I was like, I'm going to do it more, because I don't want to be held back. Like, I don't want it to be like, oh, he can't do this, because even though that is in the end what happens. But no.
Listen, it's a natural. There's a couple of stories just spring to mind for me of people of a similar age doing. I would imagine very similar things. Very similar things.
Yeah.
And so you've at that point, you're 13, 14. You're rolling on. Did you in your school years? Did you get a handle on it at any point? You know, did you get a level playing field, or was it
not really?
No,
I think how my Crohn's was for a long time was it was very persistent. I didn't have, it was quite spread.
yeah,
So I didn't have real pockets of sort of nasty bits yet. And it was quite treatment resistant, and it always has been. So, and I the only thing I put my foot down about was that I didn't want to take steroids.
yeah.
So, and there wasn't biologics at that point.
So, what age were you saying no to steroids?
Immediately, 13.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were like, look, we're just going to pump him full of steroids and we're going to do that. And I said, no, I don't want to. And my reasoning was that I was a teenager. I was very thin. I was very self-conscious about being thin, but my skin was good.
yeah,
And I was like, the thing I have left is that I don't have acne.
right.
And I was like, the steroids is going to mess my face up. And I'm like,
Right.
well, maybe not. And I was like, I sit in a waiting room every week. I see everyone. Their skin's bad. And it was interesting. So I did a liquid diet.
Yeah,
That's,
modular.
yeah, for 4 months. And they said, I didn't know this.
4 months?
They said to my parents, he's never going to do this. And I fucking did it.
Because normally that's like a 6-8 week thing.
Yeah, no, I did like 12 to 16 and I did it
Wow.
a few times. So I would eat. And I think the first time I was on, I mean, it was like 4,500 calories. Didn't eat anything. Fox's Glacier mint. So was allowed like 4 to suck a day, which is now like being back in Vietnam. If I taste one, I'm like, oh my God.
PTSD,
yeah.
Fox's Glacier mint.
But yeah,
You come to the advert, comes in the TV.
Yeah.
I don't know what possessed me, but I guess when you're that young, you don't have control over much in your life. And I was like, if it doesn't work, okay, I'll have to do it. I have to do the steroids. But it did work. And then I think I was given sort of maybe like Pentaser and stuff at that point. And I put weight on and I did get a bit better. But really, I just, for the whole of my life, really, I get somewhere and it comes back.
Yeah.
I've never really been in remission, apart from maybe now.
Yeah.
Through different means. But like, yeah, so I was rolling through, they get the biologic, the new one, I'd be on it.
Yeah.
Year, 2 years, doesn't work.
Doesn't work.
Roll on to the next one, keep going through.
So tell me this. I mean, like, you know, clinically, that's really challenging. Where's your head in this? You know,
Yeah, it was really difficult.
yeah. And was there any support for that?
No. There was a CAMS service.
Yeah.
I saw him once. There was one guy in Somerset.
Yeah.
In my area, there's one guy. I saw him once. I believe he then had a breakdown and stopped working.
Hopefully not just because of
Well,
you.
I wonder if it was. But yeah, I saw him like once or twice and then he had to leave.
Yeah.
And that was the mental health service gone.
Wow.
So, and I mean, the time that I saw him, I was 14, I think. And at the hospital, I had a really great Scottish registrar called Ron, who was great and was the first person who I kind of bonded with. And he asked me, he was the first person who said,
Scottish,
do you know
Scottish Ron?
Scottish Ron. I think he was called Ron. I've got such a clear picture of him in my head. And he was the first person who asked me, like, are you okay? And he was really good at separating me from everyone else
Yeah.
on the care team and being very direct with me. And I felt a bit more responsibility.
Yeah.
And he was like, do you know what depression is? Have you heard of it? Because I think you're exhibiting sort of symptoms or behavior. And yeah, I mean, I've had clinical depression since I was around that age. It's been really, it's like another thing I've just lived my life with.
Yeah, something that we often here is that the mental challenges that come through inflammatory bowel disease almost top the physical.
At times, I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
I find it quite interesting when people talk about anxiety and IBD, and they're like, oh, there's some kind of link. And I'm always like, have you ever eaten something that the next day doesn't agree with you? You're anxious about finding a toilet. So the link is, I don't think you can have active IBD and not have a level of baseline anxiety. I'm confused by how confused people are by it, because like, this is your worst day every day.
Yeah,
I think
sometimes sometimes is a lie. All the time, I am gobsmacked of the lack of joined up thinking.
Yeah.
And and it's like sometimes it's. I mean, anybody that knows me will say I probably oversimplify things sometimes, but that summit is quite simple. It's
I think so.
It's not really rocket science.
Yeah.
No, completely. I think there was a IBD UK report in 2024, I think it was, where they were sort of asking people to rate their care when they were sort of being treated for IBD. I think 35% of people said that they would rate it poor to fair to poor, and only 20% of people were ever asked about their mental health.
Bonkers.
Which is, when you think about, as you've said, you're dealing not only with the day-to-day of it, you're dealing with admission, readmission, new medication, how that's affecting you, changes, and all of this stuff. You're right, it goes hand in hand, but it's just not talked about. It's not prioritized.
The thing is, it sounds like a cliche. It's not a holistic approach. There's too much of looking at the condition and not person, and you have to look at it all. That's the and it's all very much hand in hand.
Yeah,
these reports are great, but you need somebody to do something about it.
Absolutely, it's all very well having figures.
Oh, that's a great report. That's brand new. What are we doing now?
Yeah.
And we, I think as a collective, and I mean that we all the. But I would love to see all the charities working together. And some might say that they are. I don't believe that they are to the most effective way, without being overly controversial. We'll leave it at that. But it's pretty frustrating. I mean, there's an IBD standards out there. This is the standard that all the departments need to meet with it. None of them, well, very few meet it.
Yeah.
And so we've spent all this money on this report, which is great, and these are the standards, and you read it and go, oh, that would be wonderful. Put it in.
Yeah.
And again, that's probably been really simplistic. I get that but there is certain things
it breeds a culture of feeling like you're not listened to and you're not heard.
Yeah.
And then you think, what's the point? Like, I'm saying I'm having this problem. It sort of gets noted down, so it's in the report, but nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then I know myself, I just stop saying stuff. I was like, what's the point?
Do you know something, Fraser? You've touched on something that we've been speaking about for a little while. Then naturally our organisation, for just by the nature of how it's evolved, and we're talking about the Catherine McCune Foundation, we've done a lot of work with kids. We've done a lot of work with parents. And if you start to do the work at an early age, again, not rocket science, then you start to, good education, good support networks, good habits, self-management, and all the kind of good stuff moving forward. What we found when we've started to work with adults is what you're talking about. There's a real apathy. There's a problem when we chat to the door. It's almost like, mate, I've heard all this before. Heard it before. And we're like, no. The work that we're doing is hands-on. It's a bit different. So it's like we're almost having to chip away at a psyche that's years in the making.
Yeah.
And that's difficult.
Yeah.
Because what you just said there, I just don't even go to bother. You know what's? I'm just dealing with it.
And it gets serious stuff. You just stop saying. And for me, I stopped reporting symptoms that turned out to be bowel obstructions.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were.
Yeah.
But I was like, look, every week, every 10 days, I'm on the floor, screaming, then I'm sick. And then I can't. It's like, oh, okay. And I was like, I think I've got trapped wind or something.
Yeah.
And I remember saying this over and over again when it got so bad that it was really interfering in my life. And I'd been having these symptoms the whole way through. Nothing happened. So I stopped saying about them. And then, in the end, it's incredibly dangerous.
To say the least.
Yeah. And it's cost me a lot. But yeah, I just kept saying, I have these things and what's going on. And it wasn't, so I just stopped saying it. And I just thought, well, it must be fine. And it must be a me problem. And I'm making a fuss because it's not getting heard. And I would say about my mental health or something as well. And it was like, okay, we'd write it down. And it was only until I found, in a way, I guess the people who I would call not like my people, but the people who took care of me and who spoke to me differently.
Yeah.
And actually went, I think this is something.
Yeah.
And that changed because I felt like I could.
Yeah, I think we get that, you can have a level of empowerment because if you're isolated and you're dealing with that yourself, and if you think nobody's listening to you, you're like, oh my God, and you know everything that goes with that, you maybe feel as if you're becoming burdensome, or and it's.
I thought I was so annoying. I thought I was annoying, and they didn't like me, and then I became quite scared of going to the hospital.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was doing something wrong. So then I didn't want to say that I was ill because I was like, I'm only ill because I'm doing something wrong. So it's my fault.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I'm just going to try and survive this. And I didn't know enough. I didn't know what my body was doing.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to, like we were saying earlier, I didn't know how to advocate for myself.
Yeah.
I didn't really know anything that I could have done or was meant to be doing because I guess my personality type and, upbringing and everything, but I was like, this is my fault.
Yeah.
To the point where when I've been very ill, I was like, well, this is my fault.
Wow.
Yeah. And I sort of look back now and it's quite frightening.
Yeah, listen to that is frightening to hear. And what was your normal? As absolutely not normal in anybody's world, but it became that for you. And and the fact that you if you don't mind me saying, if the fact that you're blaming yourself, is deeply saddening. You've moved on for that. Hopefully.
Yes.
Yes.
What? So as you progress, we touched on it. We touched on it at the start. You thespians. That you've. At what point did you start to become interested in drama, in the arts?
When I was at school, it was during this time. Really, I played a lot of music. And
what were you listening to? What were you listening to, Fraser? You'll be judged.
My favourite. My favourite.
This is where we find out if you're a legend or not.
Yeah. Oh well.
Well.
This will certainly be part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
The jigsaw.
My favourite music at the time. I played bass guitar, so I was listening to
Man of Many Talents.
Like Parliament Funkadelic, Bootsy Collins.
Ooh,
that was like my.
He just picked like, but I'm going to pick somebody really cool.
Absolutely.
That's what's happened to you,
Then he leaves here, puts his headphones in, it's Spice Girls. Just rocking out some girl power.
There's space for girl power.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, but that was like, I love funk music. James Brown band, and
brilliant. I seen James Brown at Tea in the Park years and years and years ago, and he had the longest intro in the history of the world, man.
Yeah.
You were like, is he coming on? I swear to God, it must have lasted like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But brilliant.
Just building it up. Finding his band. It looks like he's getting involved with the band, and he's just finding them. He's pointing at them, going, "You were late. You were late. You were late."
That was the thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's mad.
And they had to call him Mr. Brown, didn't they?
Yeah,
they had to call him Mr. Brown.
Absolutely insane.
He was crazy.
Yeah.
Right. So now that musically you're quite cool.
We'll give you some points.
You still play the bass?
Not as much as I'd like to. No. Got no one to play with. sort of a rubbish instrument to play on your own. But that kind of is what happened. I stopped playing in a band, and I was going to go to college to be a musician. And I had a horrible interview where I couldn't read music very well. I played this piece, and I got really patronisingly got given a place. She was like, "You're going to be really difficult if you can't read music and you can't do this, and you're going to behave better." And I just was like, I don't want to do this. So I didn't know what to do. So I stayed at school and did A-level drama. And I liked doing the drama and I liked music, but I didn't think acting or something was like a job or anything to do. And then I had a great drama teacher at school called Anna Friend, who really picked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she set up a youth theatre company and basically forced me to go because I did not want to go.
You get bullied.
Basically, she rang me and was like, "I'd really like you to come." And it was like she taught at some different schools in the area. So she was handpicking people from each school to go to this company she made. And she kind of really dragged me along.
Maybe she'd identified early this legendary status that we're going about.
Yeah. It must have been that, yeah. And then I was at school and I wasn't playing music and I didn't like anything else. And I was doing this youth theatre thing on the side. And to be honest, people just kind of kept saying that I was quite good at it. And I enjoyed it. And then we had like a director come into our school. He was a professional director. He was a friend of the new drama teacher. They'd been to drama school together. And he came in to do a 2-day workshop. And at the end of it, told the teacher to be like, tell him to be an actor. So I was like, okay, I'll try and do that. So it was quite quick from wanting to be, I don't know, Bootsy Collins to wanting to be an actor. It was quite a quick turnaround, but it was definitely my way out of. I couldn't play sport anymore. Yeah, it'd taken sport away from me, really. Yeah.
What sport were you into?
So in Somerset, rugby's massive. No one really plays football. There's not a big football club around. So it's rugby and in the summer cricket.
Was you really calling cricket a sport? I'm not sure.
Boring. So I played cricket a bit longer, but I was just I wasn't happy with how good I was, and it's kind of a weird thing. I know it's.
I had that with football. I wasn't happy with it. I should have been much better.
But like cricket, you have like tea because it's 6 hours of your day. And everyone's eating sandwiches that have been made, whatever, and I'm sat there drinking Modulin.
But that's one of the things with the liquid diet, isn't it? It's like getting it through it, and those the social challenge that comes with it. Yeah, especially maybe you're a bit older at that point, so you've kind of got a level of maturity to understand it. But even if you've got kids that are on that are a bit younger and. It's difficult if they're going to either birthday parties and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
There's real problems with that. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
but it is a good solution for a lot.
It's I mean the rest and just everything it is helpful, definitely. But it's mentally it's taxing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you were doing it for a long time.
I did it quite a few times. Yeah. And it's not. I had some recently when I'd been in hospital, and I couldn't tolerate food. I swear it tastes nicer now. It used to be disgusting. Like all of it was like horrible. But I think it tastes better now. Maybe they've improved it.
We've actually been involved in a project called CD Treat for a number of years. Comes out of Glasgow Uni, and basically what that research project is basically understanding all the benefits of modular and how that is a positive effect.
Yeah,
and making a solid food diet. Taking that.
Oh, right.
So
that's good.
Yeah, that's advanced quite significantly.
That's great.
Headed up by Professor Jeremy Mercedes. I hope I got the pronunciation right this time. Costas, and the team there. So yeah, that's significant funding. Now we seed funded that years and years ago, and every now and again we've kind of backed it, but it said the big boys have come in and got behind it for millions and millions. So hopefully that we can get to that point.
Yeah.
So that you can have a proper bit of food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, that's an interesting project. Like if you're doing that in the cricket and you're getting
yes, rubbish. Rubbish. Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah. So it took sport away. So then I was like put into music and arts and I think there's...
And that's how you guys met?
It is indeed, yeah.
And is that after you? So is that when you were advised to take that up? When you?
Yeah. So when it was said to me that, this professional person thinks you should be an actor and goes to drama school, I was like, I'll look at what a drama school is rather than university, and applied to drama schools very unsuccessfully. Very unsuccessfly.
So how does one apply to a drama school? Just the same as any other uni? Or do you need to do
most
for the people out there who don't know?
Most of them are they're not through UCAS or anything. They're like their own thing, and you apply within the window and you get an audition. You pay for an audition, which is
pay for it.
Yes.
Which is I think
different amounts for different schools.
They're trying to change it a bit as well.
Yeah. It's also the structure for some schools has changed quite a lot since COVID. So quite a lot now you'll find that the first round is self-tape.
Right.
Which is an interesting sort of point of debate for a lot of people because being in the room with people and getting to meet people and actually interact with them, you get so much more of a sense of who a person is,
of course,
who they are and who they are as an actor when even if you're in the room for 5-10 minutes, compared with sending a tape in. Particularly when you're going into training, you need to understand how you're going to be able to work with somebody in a training format.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's usually you send the application in, you get invited for either a tape audition or an in-person audition. Then you go through various rounds as they kind of go through who they want to see again and again and again. And depending on the school, you'll have a different number of rounds that you'll go through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different auditions.
So when you say that there's a different fee per school, is that depending on the I want to say the level of it? There's
I think it's
is there a hierarchy there?
I don't know. I think the logistics is that they have to hire people to do the auditions in a room, which they have to pay for, and it's like staff costs.
And they don't want to pay for it themselves.
Really,
they want you to pay for it.
So because by the end of them, you often have like the whole. Or like a large group of the staff will be watching everyone in their last round and stuff. So it's been a problem, like an access problem, definitely. I'm not sure what a good solution to it is really.
Yeah.
But we met because we got into the same drama school at the same time. So we were in the same year.
Very luckily,
which was great.
Yeah, I'd been auditioning for drama schools the year before as well. So it was very lucky that we both got in at the same time because you can still be friends with people in the other years, but you don't get as much time with each other, obviously. So I'm very pleased that we managed to land at the same time.
What was the school?
RADA.
You said that really quickly.
Really fast.
And for anybody watching or listening, explain RADA.
You want to take this one?
No, why don't you?
RADA, the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art, based in Goodge Street. It's fundamentally a classical training, but it's changed a lot over the years. So you do majority stage work, and then you dip into some things like you do dance, you do singing, you do stage combat, you do skills on mic, you do skills on screen. So it kind of covers all of your bases over the 3 years. And they've also got a foundation program where you go for 1 year as well. But yeah, so you do sort of your classical texts, you do modern text, so you kind of dip your toe into everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an intense 3 years, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think any acting training is pretty brutal, like time-wise, and what it takes from you is a lot. But yeah, that's where we met.
Yeah.
And tell me this, Fraser, when you've got into RADA, how was your health at this time?
When I got in, I would say I was quite successfully living with symptoms.
Yeah.
And then about halfway through, I started to get ill.
Yeah.
And then by the end of it, I was not well.
No.
And that's when you're doing all your public shows as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was successfully hiding my Crohn's disease. Like, I don't think anyone...
Is that because you're a good actor?
Oh dear.
Sorry. I couldn't resist.
Well, I'd hope so, yes.
He's very good.
I think anyone with Crohn's disease or colitis, they're genius.
Yeah.
Genius. People, as so often, it'd be, I never knew. I didn't have a clue.
So, I mean, one of the things that's, you know, we speak about it loads at the charity, but even on here, you spoke about you found a bit of a support network earlier. You're getting into a new environment, new people. How are you dealing with that? Are you sharing your health challenges, or are you masking everything? You know, just battling on.
I think mask everything.
Yeah.
I think definitely. I might have said to people, I have Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
And to that level, I would speak and people go, what's that? And I'd say, oh, well, like, I manage it. And I kind of go to the toilet a bit. And and I'd always be like, it's kind of why I'm quite skinny. I'm a skinny person.
Yeah. So you don't really put across how serious it can be or what you've been through. You're just kind of, would it be fair to say you're kind of brushing it off a little bit just to kind of...
Yeah. But I think also I didn't know how serious it could get.
Yeah. No, there's that.
Which was a big problem.
Even though just listening to your story, you've already been through a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Through that.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's physical or mental as well. And you know, you guys struck it off, you know, really quite quickly, which is nice.
Yeah, very fast.
Did you recognise anything? Did you know where he was at? Because I think one of the things that's, you know, for me that's really interesting about this conversation is that, and something that we speak about all the time, is that it's not just the person living with the condition that gets the diagnosis, it's everyone around, you know, whether that's a family unit or friends to a certain extent. Yeah. And everybody deals with it a little bit differently. Yeah. So how does it work for you,
I don't think I knew. You told me that you had Crohn's. You definitely did tell me. And I think I did that, not immediately, maybe a little while in, but we'd been friends for a while before you said anything. But I think I did that really helpful thing that people who know nothing about Crohn's and colitis or IBD do, which is you told me and then I said, oh, I've got IBS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that
great.
One. That one. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Really helpful. And, you know, over time we talk about it a bit more, but I'm sure that was a real moment of, But no, I don't.
Good for you.
We didn't talk that much about it. But I also don't think that I really appreciated the fact that when you go to drama school, you are encouraged every minute of every day to be very open, very honest, lay everything out on the table, all of your emotions. The more that you can sort of pull yourself open for people, the better. So everyone's sharing as much as they feel like they're able to, but also it's a very physical place to be. You're in black leotards and leggings all day long. So you're out there, your hands on each other all the time for various classes. And I don't think I thought about what that would have meant for Fraser while we were there.
Yeah.
Like the combination of those two things, emotionally and physically, having to be so vulnerable and open.
Wow.
But also making the decision for yourself that actually, for self-preservation, for whatever reasons, you needed to keep parts of yourself for yourself. And that how much you wanted to share at what point was your decision. And you would kind of give pieces of information along the way, but it was only as much as you felt ready to give, which is obviously completely legit. But we never had any really deep conversations about it until you got really, really poorly, and that we were long gone out of drama school at that point.
Yeah, a long time. Yeah, I think my biggest fear was that I would be asked to leave.
Of course,
that my health. If I said, actually, I'm not doing very well, that then opens the opportunity for them to go, well, what's wrong?
Yeah,
what's really happening? And then they would ask me to leave, and I felt so. And I still am so bonded to the people like Tash that I was with. The idea of not being there and not managing to finish this thing I tried so hard to achieve, I couldn't face that at all. So, and illness is not acceptable. I think in the wider business and things, it's a bit better now. But generally, when you're training, and this is, any actor would tell you this, like, you can't be ill. You just cannot be ill. So I was very aware. The days I would take off, which were barely any, would be because I physically could not move.
Yeah.
And even then, it'd be like, the policy is, well, you should be in. So I did performances, I did classes, I did whole days with what I now know, again, to be full bowel obstruction. And I'd deal with the pain, didn't take any pain meds because I didn't know that was a thing I could do. No pain meds, have a bowel obstruction, whatever, be like, oh, okay, this is happening. Any minute that I could, privately, I would lie down and try and put pressure on it. Until the point where I was like, well, hopefully I'm going to be sick soon. So then it will alleviate the pressure. So then I'd go to the toilet, hopefully be sick, and then finish the day. And then I would I'd normally get the tube, but I'd sit on a bus. So I knew I could fall asleep. So I knew I could fall asleep on my way home on the bus and it would be fine because it finished near my house. And that's how I would manage it. And I would, before going on stage in third year and stuff, I'd be on the toilet, straight out from the toilet, just straight on. At times, there was one unfortunate show where I wore a whole costume that was white.
What was that?
That terrible play.
Oh, the
terrible classical thing. And I had to sit. We had to sit on stage the whole time for over 3 hours, and I was there, verging on just brown out this white costume.
Brown out.
just sat there going like, if I stay focused, maybe I won't shit myself. And this is meant to be like my fucking dream. Yeah. And most of it was me managing symptoms and getting from the outside with some agents and things, getting praise for kind of how I looked. Wow. It's like heroin chic, really, is how I looked.
Yeah.
I would probably have been almost 30 kgs lighter than I am now.
That's a lot.
Like I don't recognize myself.
Honestly?
Yeah. It's like watching a different person
Wow.
at work. And a friend of mine recently saw something I was in and was like, it actually took me a second to work out it was you. Like you just don't look anything like that, which in its own ways is quite a difficult thing because I don't recognize my face anymore. I'm still getting used to how I look.
Wow.
And I was kind of being praised for being this skinny.
Yeah.
And I just thought if I could manage it. But looking back now, obviously I'm like, this is completely, I don't want to use the word irresponsible, but I just think, how am I managing to, from really close friends, like how am I managing to hide all of this?
It's like,
and I didn't know that going to the hospital was an option for me. I thought if I went to A&E, they would be like, well, there's nothing wrong with you.
yeah, sometimes that's the best route.
Well, yeah, in the end, it was the route that's had to be taken. Yeah.
I think, just listening to that, clearly a great actor.
Legendary.
Legendary.
See, it's not
but right, so I'm just trying to kind of get my head around this. I'm thinking about this on the stage for 3 hours story, and it's like, so you're doing your job. There's a lot of energy in that, a lot of mental energy, as well as physical energy, in doing your job as an actor. But you've done that. But you're also, it's almost as if you're two people that you're acting. You need to act to be normal. Yeah. Because of what you're going through physically. Yeah. And also living in your own head with that. And it's like, and then you're also not opening up the reality to your close pals. And that's a tough old place to be.
It is. Because inadvertently, I've lied to everyone I've known since I was 12 years old. Yeah. All day, every day. Good actor. Lied. Lying's not good acting. But just lying and to like survive and to try and fit in. And I think about, everyone with IBD and issues like this has their own weirdness going on. Yeah. Where I was saying earlier that my knowledge of pubs is insane because I know which ones will let you in to use the toilet and I know where the toilets are. Yeah. So my geography is incredible. And I know on the tube.
What do they call that? If you with the hackneys, is it the gen they call it? The street.
Oh, the knowledge.
The knowledge. Yeah, but yours is for a different reason. Your knowledge is on the lavies.
Basically, yeah. And it's that baseline anxiety thing you're talking about. It's like, I don't know how you can survive. How are they not? It's a survival mechanism.
Absolutely.
And you have to have that level of anxiety to function at a certain point when you're symptomatic. You can't exist without it. It's like, and on the tubes that I go on, I would know if I can hold on until here, there's a pub or there's somewhere I can get straight out the station and go in. But then I would have to map out to the minute my mornings to get into drama school. Yeah. And it was the same every day. What I would do, what I would drink and eat and do to get myself ready for like 9:30. And I couldn't sway off of that. So then trying to have a relationship, like the rest of your life, it's impossible because it's like, why don't you want to come to my house? I don't really want to say. Yeah. And it's just you're living in two spaces, three sometimes at once.
Yeah, sometimes more, but it sounds like as well.
Yeah, being in lessons, and some of these lessons you have at like drama school are amazing. The things you're watching, the work you're seeing, or like the guest who comes in to talk. It's these amazing people, and I would honestly be sitting there. I can't hit any of it. Just going like, the door's over there, and it's rude if I get up now. So I just have to lock in until this is all over, because I was too embarrassed and I didn't want to get up.
Wow.
To leave, to go to the toilet, because I was like, this feels rude. And it's for me, it was too exposing. I wasn't at that point in my life where I could be honest and go, actually, like, I'm going to be 5 minutes. Everyone knows what I'm doing. No one cares. Like, that's in the end what it would have been, or what it can be.
Yeah, but it can be if you have that release.
If you have this change, and
And it... Do you think that because the nature of how you personally were dealing with that you put yourself under more pressure, and that had a detrimental effect on that potentially?
Yeah, and it's very hard not to blame myself. I think that's, looking back now, if I'm kind to myself, that like 13-year-old boy or something, you're like, obviously it's not your fault. And this is, like you said, it's traumatic. I don't know it's trauma.
Of course
I don't know that at all. And there's other things going on in my life which felt more traumatic or more difficult. So I was like, oh, this is nothing. I can deal with this.
Yeah.
And, like as you can imagine, I've had quite a lot of therapy and different therapies. And what a big step is going like, accepting that your coping mechanisms no longer work, because that worked for a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And I've moved away from home. I'm in London at drama school, meant to be having the best time of my life. And this is the start of the rest of my life. And I'm sat there with the coping mechanisms of a child, really, thinking, oh, this is never going to work. This is never going to work out for me.
So, I mean, if I could, how did it work then? Why did it work? Because it obviously worked.
Because he worked twice as hard as the rest of us to make sure that it worked. Like the amount of mental and physical work that we were all doing in those classrooms, Fraser was having to do double what the rest of us were doing, because he was coming into those situations. We would come out of the doors, get on the tube, we can clock off to a certain extent. You've still got other stuff to do. But as Fraser has already said, like, his journey starts as soon as he wakes up. So he's doing that work just to get through the doors.
Yeah.
Then he's having to do the double work when we're there.
Yeah.
You just put so much. I don't think you appreciate this enough about yourself, but it's a real credit to you that you would turn up. You didn't want to talk about it. People didn't know. Like, I would have had no idea coming into first year. We were in the same scene study class for the whole first year. We're doing this scene together. Fraser comes in and for our scene, for this show called Lilydale by Horton Foote, we played this pair of very young, engaged kids. And he comes in and he's written these songs for my character. So we're sitting down, we're doing this scene. He's written these songs, he's playing them. I had no idea. He's gone away and done that extra work on top of what he's already doing, the fatigue, everything else that you were going through. He's just come in and done double the amount of work, but you shouldn't have had to have done that, but you did.
So what do you... That's incredible, first and foremost. Is that, I hope you don't mind me asking this, is that part of that extra work, is that part of the masking job to hide what was going on, or are you just a serious grafter?
That's a good question.
I think, what do I think? To be honest, you saying that, I don't know that's what you think of me at all. I was always worried that I was behind because I was ill. But I think also sitting at Bristol Children's Hospital, there's this big waiting room for all the clinics, and there's loads of kids and their parents there and stuff. And I was a bit older than most of them. And I couldn't help but just think all the time, like, there's children in this hospital who are like really, really ill, who are dying. And I felt like I had to hold that quite close in my heart and think like I am lucky to have to not be in that that position, and that it gave me real perspective, which I think is why I ended up going like, well, no, I like playing guitar, so I'm going to try and do that as well as I can, and I like acting, so I'm going to try and do that as well as I can. So it's really important. It was just really important to me. It isn't something that I think is like a hobby. And if it didn't work out, I wasn't going to be like, oh, well, you know, I tried. Because I think for me, it was kind of life and death. It's like, I think this is how I can live my life happily.
Yeah.
And I can't see another route because I couldn't play sport anymore. Neurodiversity was pretty obvious, but I didn't know that. So like I'm ADHD as well. So like, I teach acting as well. And it's like heaven because it's the speed my brain works. And talking about it and reading script, it's just relaxing. It's the only time in my life I ever felt relaxed.
Brilliant.
So for me, I was like, I have to work hard and enjoy it for what it is. But also I get really angry. I think something's stupid or it's not working or someone's doing. I'm not like, I'm opinionated but because I really care. But I think that all goes back to sitting at the children's hospital and being like, some of these children aren't even ever going to get a chance to do anything.
Yeah.
So if I do get a chance, it means a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's what's always driven me I never thought I was working very hard. I just started trying.
Because it's what you do. It's what you do naturally as a human being. I think you touched on something that's super powerful. It's like you've seen what it could be. You know that you've been dealt not the best card, but it's not the worst card.
Yeah.
And you're going to embrace every opportunity and try and maximise that. And I think that's, you know, that's incredible and it's commendable. And I want to hear about when it comes out and you're opinionated. What does that look like? is that nice, Tash? how interesting is that?
Yeah, very.
Let me off on that. We want to finish the chat. No, you know, I really, honestly, I mean it from the heart. I really take my hat off to you for having that drive in that direction and part of that, the understanding what fuels that. Yeah. Because you see I think you see the privilege in life and what it's got and what it could potentially have for you. And I also think that what you do can give to so many people as well. You know, it's intrinsically that's the nature of what you guys do.
I think that is what like art in whatever form it takes is doing.
Yeah.
And it's a challenge but an escape. I think good art is always that. It's not answering questions. It's provocative. It's trying to say what do you think of this? And for me, I guess it just feels like the way to deal with, I think, my health and things. Yeah.
So, I mean, just to move it on a little, and when you became a lot more understanding of what your situation was, because it got a lot more serious, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe the understatement of the year, but you know.
Yeah. So I guess I think when Tash and my other friends and my now wife and everyone sort of, I had to stop lying in that way or masking. I became very ill in 2021. And again, I'll keep this story as short as I can, but I had a bowel obstruction. And I went in an ambulance to one hospital. They filled me full of steroids for a week, sent me home. Got home, still wasn't feeling very well. Messaged the nurses at my hospital, it's UCLH in London. And they said, I think you should probably come into A&E and we'll take care of you. And I got to A&E and I remember the doctor just looked at me and was like, I've seen your notes, this Crohn's disease, isn't it? Okay. It was like, you look really unwell. You're safe. We're going to look after you. And I think all of the adrenaline just like stopped and I didn't move from my bed, really. I got taken up. I got put on the ward. And the moment I realised I learned about advocating for myself for the first time was I was probably in there for a few days. I'd stopped moving, really. Hadn't gone to the toilet and had no pain medicine. And then they wanted to do an MRI and they took me down to do the MRI and I was like, I can't tolerate the contrast stuff. Like it makes me very ill because I've had it so much. I think it just, and they were like, okay. And I was like, I'm not eating or drinking. It's really painful. So I think the teams had an argument on the phone, the imaging team and the ward about, no, he needs to drink this stuff. They're like, I don't think he can, just maybe some water. So in the meantime, I was in the corridor and I collapsed. Just flat onto the floor on my face, just collapsed because I was in so much pain. I'd been moved and I was sitting up for the first time in a chair, just collapsed off the chair. It's like bang, the alarm's going. I get taken back up to my bed and this doctor came up to me and was like, I don't think you know how to look after yourself. You're not taking pain medicine and I really need you to confirm that I can give you quite a lot of morphine, which I thought was for ill people or people in lots of pain.
Yeah.
So I said yes. It's like this massive, I think because it's diluted on a ward, just this big injection of morphine. And it's the first time I'd ever experienced pain relief, which was wild. And then I had this chat with this doctor who was like, I think you're really ill. I think there's something really quite wrong. And there's a surgeon who is going to look through your notes. But I have to say, this is serious. And I just was like, I didn't really have a clue what it would be or why. And then the surgeon came to talk to me, not the surgeon who did my operation, and they got me to sign a sort of consent form, which was, we don't know, but it's happening tomorrow. Might need a stoma, might not, might be a resection, might not be, might be nothing, might be whatever.
Yeah.
And then that night I woke up and was like, oh, I think I need the toilet. I went to the toilet and then I thought I was going to die on the toilet. I really had this moment and I couldn't go and I just full body sweat. And I remember just going like, whatever happens, okay, something really is bad. Just don't die on the toilet. It's like, you'll never live this down. Excellent.
Elvis has never got over it either.
No. And so I got myself up, got into bed. At this point, I wasn't using my call for the nurse because I thought it was rude. And then the next morning, I just passed out. And the next morning, I think they'd done stuff overnight. My bloods are like haywire. Loads of people coming in. I meet the surgeon, who's amazing man, an amazing surgeon. Mr. Wood at UCLH, who's done most of my surgery. And he sat down and was like, I know this is a lot to take in, but I think you're this is life-threatening.
Right.
If I don't do this, you're going to die. So I just need you to consent, and I need to know that you're okay with, because you might wake up and I don't know what I'm going to do. And he said, you are going to have a stoma. He's like, I can't see a way around this because something needs a rest at minimum. So my introduction to having a stoma was, you're going to have one. And a stoma nurse came in, asked me, they're a lovely person, but there's no time, said, is your stomach always distended like this? And I didn't know what distended meant. So I just said, no, marked me, and I went to surgery. And so I had a full open surgery. They took out, I think about 40 centimeters, bit of my large colon, all the appendix, everything like that. And I'd perforated.
Yeah.
So he said perforation is about the size of a 2p piece. And I had an abscess the size of a grapefruit.
I don't know if we're calling that a perforation when it's that big. It's huge.
It's this huge hole. And I had this massive abscess, which could have burst at any point.
Wow.
But yeah, and I woke up, was in intensive care for a few days. And this was during COVID, so there's no visitors. I didn't know what intensive care was. I didn't know that you could have a bowel perforation. I didn't know you could get an abscess. I developed post-traumatic stress in intensive care. And I also decided that I was going to ask my girlfriend to marry me. Which whilst I was
go on the morphine
in there, exactly. I was flying, but I was like, if I also was like, she might not want to, and she might not want to be with me, because this was my worst nightmare. This is why I struggled to be in relationships with people, and I never thought I would get married or anything, because I didn't know it would be this bad, but that my health was not good enough.
Yeah.
And I just, was in there in between, God knows what else was going on. And I just was like, life's for living, and I love this person so much, so why wouldn't I ask her? Then she turned up, she came on the ward. I've never been happier to see someone in my life.
The lovely Hayley.
And she was, it's never in doubt. Just astonishing, love and care. And the jig was up. Do you know what I mean? I can't lie to anyone anymore. And then I guess that would probably be when you just heard about it, and my friends, and I don't know what that was like, but it's just, that was the start of, sadly, not the end of my problems. That was the start. But, when I have a stoma and being that ill, it's you can't lie to people anymore. I don't know how to.
It's definitely not in your control at that point, is it really?
No. No. And then, so I did ask her to marry me. She did say yes. Mm-hmm. Not in the hospital. I gave it a bit of time.
Did you ask in the hospital?
No, I just decided.
Oh, you made the decision?
Yeah.
Right.
And we'd been together for 6 months. We just moved into a flat together.
Right.
And then I had my stoma reversed a year. That was January 22. And they opened me up. Again, full laparotomy. And they found like a meter of small intestine, which was completely filled with disease. So I had to take that out, put me back together again. And then January, I had 2 weeks where I shit like a normal person. I could not believe how people are living. I was like, is this your life? Because this is unreal. And I was like, I'm sorted. Like, I've got this made. And then I went shopping. I was like, don't worry, I'm good. Went shopping in Lidl and went, I feel like I need shit. And then just the world came out of my arse in the fruit and veg aisle. And
It's not what you expect.
As you do.
Yeah.
and then I had quite an interesting year of going, it's not quite right, and asking my doctor to put me back on biologics. And he didn't, which is why I had that meter of disease in me that they took out. And there was this miscommunication. So he didn't put me back on them for a while. And I think I got put back on them. And then we had Christmas up in Scotland with Hayley's family. And then New Year's Eve, I woke up in the morning in like terrible, terrible pain.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we'll go. Like, it would be fine. Hayley went out. She was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, go out. It's fine. Probably within the hour she left, I'd started like being sick and I couldn't stop. And I was like bile and everything. And then just like kind of screaming. I couldn't get up off the floor.
Wow.
And then we got the ambulance, got taken in, and I just got worse and worse and worse in A&E. And I couldn't breathe. So I was like really short of breath, and then it would hurt so much to breathe that I'd then basically just scream, which for 12 hours basically in hospital. And what had happened is I'd had a blockage, but where there was scar tissue.
Yeah.
And then it had ripped. So I had another perforation. New Year's Eve, emergency surgery. My lung had collapsed. I had gas and fluid in the cavity there. So I had another emergency operation done by a thyroid surgeon who was on duty there. It was serious, like not good at all. And Hayley just had to go home at 2 a.m. on a New Year's Eve. Everyone's pissed. There's no taxis.
Yeah.
Sat on the tube after we I didn't know if I was really going to make that. And I did. I was in a coma for like maybe 12 or so hours to try and like rest me out.
Wow.
Intensive care again. And yeah, some pretty intense stuff happened in intensive care. Then I got moved up to the ward. I developed a really bad infection, which I think I was pretty close to having to go back down into intensive care. Yeah. But I was in hospital the whole of January, which is the year we were going to get married as well. Whole of January, I was in hospital. They sent me home. Like 2 weeks later, I was back in because I couldn't put any weight on. Basically, where the perforation or the tear had happened is only about 1.5 meters from my stomach. So I was just losing fluid all the time. And because the nature of the stoma and the surgery, the stoma just didn't work very well. So I was just losing fluid, so I couldn't put on any weight.
Yeah.
So then I had to go back in to be put on TPN, like I think total parental nutrition. So the line in my arm, feed into my heart. So we had to learn to do that at home. But I was in for most of February then. And then we got married in April that year.
Brilliant prep.
Yeah, it was pretty good. And I made it to the wedding. As you can imagine, the wedding was emotionally quite intense.
Yeah, but
and yeah, it's a real thing. Like, looking at those pictures and things, going like,
how did you get to that? It's a miracle in itself, isn't it?
It really is. And like, those are the choices that Hayley has made. She chose like love, and
For the legend.
it's incredible.
Absolutely, because, you know, I know we'll talk a little bit about this soon. I think what you're going through is mind-blowingly horrific.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, you know, that everything that's associated with that. Everybody forgets about the other person, don't they?
Yeah, 100%.
Forget.
Yeah.
And it's not right.
No.
And, you know, and I look forward to meeting Hayley, by the way. She sounds like a lovely person. She's got a great catch.
amazing.
She's got a great catch.
She is.
But in all seriousness, like her as your future wife, your partner, and it's like, what's happening there? You know, who was there for Hayley?
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, where does she go? Because with the greatest respect, you're kind of keeping a lot of this to yourself.
Yeah.
And you're dealing with a lot. And I would imagine, even though the bits that you're sharing with Hayley, it's not everything, because you don't want to scare her, put her in a bit. But then it's coming out in floods when you can't hide it. It's like, you know, it's like everything's out there.
And there's no option. As a couple, then one day we're sort of equals, and then the next day from that first operation, she's my carer. She's partly my carer.
Yeah.
I couldn't. There's so much I couldn't do for myself in those first month or so home.
Yeah.
And then this is happening again and again and again.
Yeah.
And there is no service from the hospital or anywhere to sort of that we had to provide some support for your partner or for whoever becomes that care person. And also, you know, frankly, what's happening to me is this big, dark, but like exciting, strange. There's news, it's scary, and it just sucks attention. It just feeds on attention. So as a carer, as a person on the side, it's not fair.
No, I think you see that in family units as well. You know, when you get siblings.
Yeah.
You know, if you get one sibling that's going through that journey, and then you've got the brother or the sister that's not got the attention.
It creates a huge imbalance in your life, in any family unit or anything, because naturally everyone is kind of thinking about and talking about the same person.
Yeah, constantly.
And kind of going like, "Oh, are you all right? Yeah, okay, good." And I just, it really bothered me. It still bothers me a lot.
Yeah, I know.
And those decisions, when I have eventually come to where I am now, where we had to make a choice about my health surgically, it was probably the first time I could make a choice that wasn't just for me. It was for how me and Hayley are going to live our life together.
Yeah.
And it's a brutal choice, and it's a brutal predicament to be in, because I had that other stoma reversed as well. It needed to go. It wasn't functional. They tried putting me back together, and then my colon just didn't work.
Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do medicinally for that. And I remember I'd gone to see a friend of mine. I was driving home and I needed the toilet. And I had to drive so fast to get to services, park the car, dump it, run in. And I remember I walked back to the car and I see all these people with their kids, and I was like, I can't be a responsible parent like this.
Yeah.
It's unsafe. And for our life together, that's something we'd spoken about having a family. And I just had this real like, I can't look after other people if my health is like this, and it's not going to get better. So I was asked, we had a meeting, and I said, like, I'm not very well. Like, I can't hold, I'm basically incontinent, really. I was heading that way. So we spoke about the options, and I was quite firm I was like, I just think everything has to go, because if there's no drugs, which there aren't, I don't want more surgical complications. I can't put Hayley through this anymore. I can't put my sister, my brother, my parents, my now new family, my in-laws, everyone. This is just madness, because my Crohn's is so persistent. I keep having, because I've had so much surgery, I've had 5 open bowel surgeries from April 21 to December 24. So the scar tissue, like all of that, the toll it takes in your body is so much.
Can I make an observation?
Yeah.
You mentioned everybody apart from yourself.
I was just going to say that we had so many conversations in the lead up to the decision that you made with Hayley, in which, you know, you were talking about all of this stuff, and we had actually that exact conversation where I said, for you, who you are as a person, how much you enjoy being with people, how great you are teaching classes, being on stage, telling stories, all this stuff. There was a long period of time where you couldn't do any of that because you weren't able to be out of the house for periods of time. It wasn't the number one thing on your list, but when we're having those sorts of conversations, it was like it's a huge decision to make that will give you such a big, important part of your life back, your identity, your worth, all of these things. And it's an unbelievably difficult decision to make. I can't imagine being in your position, but for you as well as for everybody else, it's a really life-altering thing to be able to step back into who you're meant to be.
Yeah. I see it as like me and Hayley talk about this, and I try and mention it when something comes up, but like it's a massive price I've paid, but incrementally, eventually I'm going to get to par, and then after that, I'm cash. You know,
I have no doubt.
And it's small things like the first time. So I had this, what's it called? Total panproctocolectomy. So I have 3 meters of small intestine, and that's it. And a ileostomy, which is a brutal operation. I think it was like pretty long, like 7-8 hours, and the recovery was not a joke. But
you're not doing things by halves anyway, are you, Fraser?
Oh,
no.
All the way in. All the way in.
Yeah. But I just felt like if we get, I don't know, maybe this says a lot about me, but I was like, I'm not leaving my manky colon in there to then in 25 years, once I've got my family or whatever me and Hayley choose to do, to then it can still make you ill. And I'm at high risk of having bowel cancer, things like that. So I was like, just look, it's not doing me any favors. So let's just get rid. So I don't have to make that same decision.
Yeah.
When I'm, older, and tell my children, sorry, I didn't make this choice at the time. And everyone's different. And my surgeon and the team there were like, this is a really difficult decision to make, and a lot of people would prefer to do less. But for me, and I think it's the short period of time this all happened, I couldn't work. Didn't work. Once COVID hit, I did not work.
Yeah.
And like you say, I was like, this is kind of gives me a shot at life again. And a shot at things that I didn't think I was ever going to do, like have a family or...
Yeah. You've kind of sneaked that bit in there. You need to tell us about that.
The family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we are expecting a baby.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Which is amazing.
That is a bit more than that. So how far gone are we?
We're 27 weeks today.
What does that mean to a heathen?
It means almost third trimester.
Wow.
Yeah. It's the only thing that's ever come easy to us. So
Yes.
I'll take, yeah. But yeah, because of all the surgery and stuff, there's a risk that they nick something.
Yeah, of course.
And then I can't, have kids like that. And so we didn't really know. It was a risk, and we spoke to them, and but my surgeon he did always talk to Hayley and really reached out to her and would talk to both of us in appointments, not just me. And so we both had conversations with them and the surgical team about the likelihood of damage and what it can mean. And, if there is anything, then we'd quite like to be front of the list because these things take a long time. But yeah, as it turned out, we're expecting a child, which is to think, December 24, I couldn't sit down. I had to lie down for a month because it relieved me of my arsehole.
Beautifully put.
to then, like, this Christmas, having a 12-week scan. And
Brilliant.
it's like...
So when is the baby due?
June. Yeah.
June 20th is a good date for babies to be born.
Indeed. Why is that then? just tried it out there.
Picked it up.
Feels like a good one.
Picked it up. No, that's beautiful. Great. Can I ask something? You've got an incredible story, clearly. And it's emotionally charged, to say the least. So you guys are super tight friends. When you've got to that point and you're in the hospital and that's serious. As a friend, and I think like touching on it, something that's also not really recognised, or if it is recognised, it's kind of it's put to the side. It's not high on the list of priorities. How do you feel at that point? Because you've not got the full story. You guys are super close. You're working together every day, pretty much on like projects that are pretty intense, and you've kind of hidden a lot from. I mean, with the greatest respect, for all the reasons that are right in your mind, and then you're going, oh wow. How are you reacting to that, Tash?
I think, it's one of those things. Obviously, it takes however long it takes for somebody to feel comfortable to share information like that with you. And I've got a lot of friends who have different forms of IBD, but very close family members who have Crohn's and colitis as well. So it's been in my life like for quite a long time in various forms. I think that honestly the most difficult thing in this situation was when I found out about how poorly Fraser had been, when we had that conversation, which I think was about a 2.5-3 hour FaceTime after I think it was in 2021. I was living in New York, and
Check it.
I know. It's like I'm just dropping that in there.
Get in there. Were you acting there?
Trying to, but there was COVID, so it wasn't doing very much.
Oh no!
Yeah, really good timing.
Nightmare.
But so I hadn't seen, and me and my husband moved there in 2020, beginning of 2020. So then everything locked down. I didn't get to come home for 18 months because of our visas and border controls and things like that. So I hadn't seen Fraser in probably knocking on 2 years at this point in person. Yeah. And he sent me this text to say, there's some stuff that we should probably talk about. And the hardest thing about it was feeling so far away.
Yeah, a bit.
A lot of people talk about this when you have people in your life who are, dealing with health complications, that kind of helplessness.
Yeah.
And not knowing where to start. But the physical distance was really tough.
Yeah.
So then, as soon as I could get back to the UK, we saw each other, and as much as we could, and I've made an effort to learn as much about all the different sort of forms of IBD that there are. And Fraser's told me a lot about his own journey, and there's still moments where I'll say something and Fraser's like, that's not quite right, and I'm like, cool, because I make mistakes with it all the time, because there are so many different iterations and versions, and people have really different really different journeys. Every journey is
unique, isn't it?
Yeah,
very much so.
Yeah. I feel very lucky that Fraser has shared as much as he has shared with me, and that he's trusted me with that, and long may that continue, I hope. But yeah, it was interesting listening to Hayley Edwards' Gutsy episode when she said that she first heard that she had a 1 in 10 chance of needing a stoma. And she said it was just very simple. She said her reaction was just scared and sad. Scared. I think that is the pairing. And I feel like that does reflect for family and friends and partners as well. Those are the two things that hit you most. Scared and sad. Yeah,
and it's scared, sad, and a bit lost and alone. You're quite, as a family member or friend that wants to support you. There's an isolation comes with that as well. I think, and that's something that you definitely hear. It's and I think it's something like the organisation, we need to work on that to provide a platform for it.
Yeah,
not just a leaflet. Which has its place, but I think having a little bit more hands on in that respect's really, really important.
But luckily, also Fraser did have a wonderful community of people in London who were, big shout out to Luke and Jack, who another two who were rather at the same time as us.
Rather? Did you mention?
Can we? Was that caught? Can we cut that?
Is that the Royal Academy?
Yeah, they were pretty incredible. Throughout your journey, weren't they?
I think what's for me was important, and what I realised about your friends is that they have a choice.
Yeah.
They could choose not to. And it hurts when, not everyone reacts the same way. But at the time, I felt lucky that so many people chose to see me. But I actually think it's not luck, it's good choices before, choosing good people. And having a good sense of people, and so many of our joint friends and my friends said yes, and did come to see me, did see me in hospital. Some of them, it's a hard thing because it's traumatic to see someone you care about, someone you love, like in a coma.
Of course.
But, some people said yes, and that does mean a lot.
Yeah. I think that's when you see the real people, your real friends.
Yeah,
most definitely. If you're, I read a thing recently. I can't remember. It was a famous guy. Might have been Robert Downey Jr. Well, certainly one of these things. There's a quote and there's a picture. May have said it, may not have said it. Probably not. And it's like, and he was saying something like, "Well, you find out who your real friends when your health goes or you have no money."
Yeah.
And if you're both, you'll find out really who your pals are.
Real fast. Yeah.
You'll find that out. So what's next? What's happening now? Apart from baby.
Apart from
the baby.
Apart from baby.
Because one thing, we've got the acting bit. You're both writers in your own right. But what are we working on just now?
A short film, which I've written. And Tash, I think, was one of the first people I sent it to, and took it upon herself to try and make it a real thing.
Yeah. But your friends step up. I don't have any friends that would produce it for me.
No, it was purely selfish. I read it and I thought, oh, there's something here. Let me get my little mitts on this before anybody else can.
This is a self-interest story.
Yeah.
So tell us more. That sounds super exciting.
Yes. So I was with Hayley after we got married, and we drove around Scotland and England a bit home because I was on the TPN. We couldn't go abroad on a honeymoon, and we got to this tiny cabin in Killin, and I think everyone has this moment if you just got married or something. You're like, so what are we doing now? Like, is this it? Is it like two of us and Hayley was kind of said, well, I guess it's you, me and the bag then. And I thought at the time I was like, that's funny. And it really stuck with me. And then like maybe a day later, I was like, that'd be a great like title for a TV show or something. And over a bit of time, I was thinking about what would I write about. I didn't really want to write about me at that time. And I felt like what I could do was write something that's more about Hayley.
Yeah.
And our relationship and how a sort of catastrophic health event changes your relationship or like the quality of your relationship, what happens, and not having any support and having the two of you, any formal support.
Yeah.
And I wrote this short film and I sent it to Tash and then we spoke about it. And then I wrote another short film, sent it to Tash, we spoke about it. And then I wrote another one.
Well, she's just singing away, isn't she?
Oh, every time a new one comes in, thinking this is great for me. Everything's coming up, Dash.
Well, I mean, lucky me. And yeah.
I don't know if I believed him there.
No.
I'm just embarrassed.
No, go on, mate.
Yeah. So the structure ended up being this. One film was you, one film was me, one film was the bag. And in the end, we have hopes for this project that we can tell this whole story about you, me, and the bag. And what we've come up with at the moment is we've taken the script, which was me, we've adapted it a bit to be a story in its own right. And because it's something we can achieve and we can make. And it comes from partly, I wanted to write something to sort of show Hayley, I guess, and also the two of us, that if no one else sees us like I do, and we recognize this, and I think that's what like art can do. We're not trying to tell people what to think, but often health issues in TV and things. I mean, there was a few years ago, I think 2 soaps did a short line on 2 characters having stomas.
Yeah, there's been a couple of things that have just kind of touched on it, but not
Very lightly.
very right.
And I think, but I think it's normally almost every type of health condition, you get a short narrative and that's kind of it. And it's part of something else.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested in going like, well, it is, but for these people, it is the story.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And so we could make something where that is the story.
Yeah.
And like your work and what you're saying is everyone gets diagnosed. How does your partner feel about this? How do your friends feel about this? How, like, everyone's being thrown into a new situation. So this film, when I was writing it, I kind of was like, oh, I don't know any other actors my age with a stoma, so I guess that's going to be me in the film then. But
selfish.
Like, it's very selfish.
Oh, guess it's me.
but it can't just be about that. It has to be
totally.
about the relationships, because that's what good film and TV is always about. And how to tell these stories is about trying to do that properly.
So, first and foremost, super exciting. How do people get more information on it that are watching Gutsy? How do we go about that?
Well, we're currently still in our fundraising journey. So we have a Greenlit page where you can find us. If you go to Greenlit and type in "You, Me, and the Bag," you'll be able to find us. Okay. Also, our Instagram page is at YM&TB. We post updates on there about what's going on. We're actually filming really soon. So we're getting to sort of the crux point, which is really exciting. But if you go to the Greenlit page, that's probably
okay. So we'll definitely share the link for people.
Yeah, that would be great.
And so talk to us about the funding. So you still need funding, I'm assuming.
Absolutely, yeah. We're in a position where we potentially eligible for some match funding. We're still waiting on news on that, but whenever you make any short film, 90% of the time it ends up being more expensive than you expect. You have unexpected costs that come up. So we are,
real life, Tash, nothing's ever cheaper.
Exactly.
Nothing.
And the thing is, I do feel like, people can go and look at the Greenlit page, read about what we're trying to achieve and watch the video that we made. It's far reaching. It is about IBD and Crohn's and about carers and different types and flavors of care as well. What it looks like to have, a carer who is a partner, family member, friend, care from a nurse. It's all of these things. It's not just one thing. And it stretches out into all types of invisible illness. So we're excited about the reach that it has and how many people it might speak to. And also going back to the point that you made, I think in the UK, there are about 200,000 people who are stoma wearers, and how many of those people see themselves recognised and represented in a film or TV context is very, very few. You don't really get examples of that.
I think I would agree. I think if we look at the IBD community in general, so stoma, there's a lot of stomas in there. Almost nothing, just as you quite rightly say. So the fact that you guys are doing this is incredible. It's something that we absolutely want to get behind. So just talking about the funding aspect of it, on the Greenlit page, can people make a donation? Can they get behind that?
Absolutely, yes. We have
a GoFundMe kind of vibe.
That's exactly what it is. So there's a tier system. Depending on how much you want to or are able to give, they're all titled things like "Bag to the Bone" and "Baby Got Bag."
Okay.
They're all, and with each different tier, you will get. If you give £20, you'll receive a poster when we have the art department create the posters for us. If you give £5, I believe it's a social media shout out. There's all these different kind of incentives down the side, but you can also just give as much or as little as you want or are able to. And also sharing the page really helps, because the more people see it, the more the story gets out there as well. Okay,
let's let I mean, how much are we at? You're down to the nitty gritty here. How much do you need to get to where you need to be?
We have raised 35% at this point. So I think we're shy around £12,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I would say is we're going to share that link. We'll get that shared through all our Gutsy channels when we're going live. We'll get it shared through all the foundation stuff as well. And I would urge anybody, if they've got £1 or a £5,
a pound is great.
Everything goes the right way. And let's get behind you, me in the bag and get it out there, because I think the world has to see this. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. We're very excited about it, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm quite nervous. It's sort of the...
But you should be nervous because that sort of keeps you on your toes.
Yeah. It shows that you care about it as well.
And it's going the opposite.
It's kind of personal.
Yeah, just a bit.
I was going to say, I banged on about how much I was masking, and then I've thrown that in a bin fire. And
complete 180.
You've 180'd, mate. It's fair to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a liberation, I
think it is.
It absolutely is. And Tash, we were speaking about something before we go into what we generally finish Gutsy as a quick fire. One of the things that we spoke about that I absolutely loved when we spoke off camera was the wellness coordinator that you're planning and how that works. Tell us a bit about that.
Yes.
Because I love that.
Yeah, so we've got a wellness facilitator on board called Jess, who is fantastic, who's going to be part of our process pre-prod, so where we are now, during the shoot.
Pre-prod, is that movie talk?
Pre-prod, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll give you a list of terms.
Yeah. What's key grip mean?
Key grip? Oh no, now you're asking. What does key grip mean?
Top grip.
Enough said. No more needed. Yeah. So Jess is on board with us before production, during the shoot, and after. Jess is a level 3 safeguarding officer and also a mental health first aid expert.
Brilliant.
So we're putting all sorts of bits and pieces in place to make sure that we are aware of any triggers that may come up during filming ahead of time so that we can plan for them. When we're on set, any cast or crew are taken care of, particularly Fraser. There is one scene that's particularly sensitive that we're taking great care around to make sure that everybody feels very comfortable when they're in that situation, take the time. And then afterwards, if anybody needs help afterwards or support. So it's all of those things. We're also just as amazing at sort of coming up with suggestions of how Fraser will be able to separate his own experience from the character's experience. Yeah. Because while, some of the script does mirror Fraser's own experience, there are lots of, it's not Fraser in the script. Yeah. So how can we use costume and makeup, prosthetics, certain word choices, and to separate those two things out so that Fraser is able to step away from the experience at the end of it. All of these things are really important. And we're also going to create a pack for everybody who's working on the film ahead of time to teach them what a stoma is, teach them a little bit about IBD in general. So if anybody's got any questions ahead of time, they can get in contact with us or with Jess to ask questions. Or, if Fraser wants to talk to people, then obviously that would be amazing because they can hear it directly from you, but that's up to you, your decision.
Don't need to go through the agent.
No. Not on this occasion.
No, yeah.
But it's just about conversation and making sure that everybody feels comfortable and heard. And
because also you don't know what's happening with other people in their life and how they may be triggered by certain elements of it and things like that. So no, I take my hat off to you. I am super excited about that, and we will get that out there for you guys to support. Because the world needs to see it. The world needs to see it. So we're just going to quickly finish off in a quick fire.
Okay.
Fraser, 3 bits of advice you would give to anybody regarding their IBD.
Talk to someone who's going to be honest with you. Take it seriously, and it's not your fault.
Brilliant. 3 bits of advice you would give to someone as a friend of someone with IBD.
Listen. Don't try to insert yourself into the experience. Just be there. And be aware of what they might need before they have to ask for it.
And if they want to write a movie, be the person they go to.
Absolutely. Get in there early so you become the trusted mate and then reap the rewards.
Yeah, get in.
It's all about self-gain.
Yeah.
Well, you put the girl through a lot. Man. Come on. It's about time you gave back. Fraser, Tash, you guys have been an absolute dream. Thank you so much for coming on Gutsy. It's honestly, I feel as if I've known you for years, even just with the conversations that we've had. I'm super excited about this. I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And your wee baby, come on. That'd be great. Congratulations. And we look forward to young Derek being born on June the 20th. Thank you.
Bring him along to the Scottish premiere of You, Me and the Bag. Yeah.
But don't call your kid Derek. She might not like it. Guys, it's been brilliant. Thank you for coming on Gutsy. Cheers.
Thank you.
Take care.